Greetings and salutations. It's the third race weekend here in Germany. It's a sixth race coming up at the Norisring, and it is the German Monaco. Yesterday we had rain, today we've got sunshine, and we are excited for the sixth race to take place today. And this is a German Monaco. That means it is a street circuit, very bumpy, very challenging, and yet it is the home race for DTM champ Marco Wittmann, who is signing a lot of autographs here because of course you've got the great fan support here. However, it's going to be tough. You're starting from P22, your colleague Bruno Spengler is starting from pole. How can that be? What was your problem, Marco?
Well, for us it was anyway a quite difficult weekend so far. Today in the qualifying we struggled quite a bit, had also a little problem on the car and maybe not the right setup. Congrats to Bruno, he did a perfect job on P1. Hopefully he can stay there and get our first win for BMW this season so far. Yeah, for me it's just going forward, full attack, trying to overtake as many cars as possible and trying to achieve some points today.
Right, Marco, well, best of luck for the race. And yesterday Marco was starting in P8, and how it turned out, Dave is going to summarize it.
Thank you, Verena. Well, it was very, very exciting, that's for sure, as the lights went out. Gary Paffett and Christian Vitouris, as you can see, are on the front row of the pack, and the spray being chucked up. Now, it was a gamble in terms of tyres as to who would run what. Should you go on the wet weather tyres, which were clearly going to be advantageous at the beginning of the race, or, like Jamie Green, be on slick weather tyres where you were going to pay the price in the first part of the race, but maybe they would come good as the track dried out. Well, all would be revealed in due course. A safety car period, as you can see, and still plenty of spray being chucked up, and Robert Wickens and Gary Paffett getting together there, and Robert Wickens clearly superior at that point, and Robert Wickens was going to go on to show incredible pace. Now, Gary Paffett was the first of those to come off the wet weather tyres and go onto the slicks for Mercedes-Benz. Arguably, it was perhaps a lap too late. There, Christian Vitouris and Robert Wickens coming out side by side, and
watch Dave. Push now, Pascal is coming. Push.
Push, being advised to Christian Vitouris. There was the race leader, Pascal Wehrlein, and there into a spin, exactly the same as last year. He was helped on his way by one Jamie Green. Paul de Resta having a turnaround. Robert Wickens then, as David Coulthard watched on. Gary Paffett making hay while the sun shone and the track dried out. But who would get on terms with Pascal Wehrlein? Robert Wickens looked like he was ready to mount an attack. An attack was mounted by Martin Tomczyk on Jamie Green, that's for sure. And the champ Rocky got very, very close to the unforgiving walls that surround this Norisring circuit. However, Pascal Wehrlein stood firm and was going to take the second win of his DTM career, followed by three other Mercedes-Benz. There is the result in full. Hans-Joachim Stuck is with Verena right now.
He certainly is. We're very thrilled to have you here, Striezel. Wonderful to see you. Now, let's talk about this wonderful car right behind us, because I think it has a bit of a nostalgic touch, because you certainly know this design behind you.
That's correct, Verena. 1990, I had a big win here with the Audi V8 Quattro, which was a milestone on my way to my championship. And even better, I drove it today here on the track, and it was just a feeling that brings back goose pimples, good memories. V8 Quattro at the Norisring, just great.
And in general, it's got to be said, I mean, what a perfect day here today. We've got sunshine, and Norisring is just so special, isn't it?
What do you want more? I think it's good. It brings people, it brings the motorsport to the people. Norisring is a very, very demanding track for the drivers. No runoff areas, just guardrails and walls. So the most fastest, the most guy who takes the biggest chances is going to win. We have a fantastic grid. All brands are up in the top 5, 6, and I would say start your engines.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, and back to you guys.
That's great. Start your engines. Hans-Joachim Stuck then, and of course the livery that was on that very car that he was talking about is on the car of Matthias Ekstrom today, which will be going from P4. Okay, there is the champion, Marco Wittmann. And in conversation with Verena just a few moments ago, he's got a lot of work to do from P22 on the grid. Alongside me is Chris Hartley, delighted to welcome him, and he and I will take you through the starting grid right now. Bruno Spengler, pole position for BMW with Christian Vitouris alongside.
And as we move on to row 2, we see that Robert Wickens, twice on pole here in recent years, starts third. Matthias Ekstrom, much better than yesterday, is fourth on the grid.
It's a Mercedes-Benz lockout on the next row with Lucas Auer and yesterday's race winner Pascal Wehrlein.
We take a look at row 4. It's the championship leader, Jamie Green, 7th, and Paul de Resta starts in 8th.
Then we see Maxime Martin for BMW with Danny Juncadella, who will run from P10.
On the 6th row of the grid, Gary Paffett, who got onto the podium yesterday, and Augusto Farfus starts alongside.
Then we see the Audi of Adrian Tombe and the BMW of Timo Glock.
Our next pairing, we have Nico Müller and Maximilian Gotz in his first season of DTM.
Antonio Felix da Costa goes from P17 and he has Eduardo Mortara for company P18.
On row 10, former champion Mike Rockenfeller and last year's runner-up in the F3 Championship, Tom Blomqvist.
Then we see Martin Tomczyk P21 and Marco Wittmann P22.
And on the final row of the grid, we have Timo Scheider and Miguel Molina. And on pole position, talking to Verena right now, we have Bruno Spengler.
Yes, we have a very, very happy Bruno Spengler who's just getting ready for the big race. Now, you're an expert at the Norisring, and you had a fantastic qualifying, obviously, today. And watching you ending the qualifying with your sign language, being so happy, were you also a little surprised that it went so well that you snatched pole?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Norisring was never the best track for BMW so far, but today was good for us. You know, we have a light car, but my engineer did a great job giving me a great car. It was a good lap and very positive for us. Now we have to see. It's a long race. I give my best to stay in front, but it's going to be very tough. The Mercedes are fast.
All right, Bruno, well, best of luck, and back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Verena. He made the point there, Mercedes are very fast. Bruno Spengler, though, is the man on pole position. And there we see Mike Rockenfeller, who has huge support here at the Norisring, and starting from P19 for the former champion Mike Rockenfeller. Some great creative work there with the sunglasses as worn by Timo Glock, who drives, of course, the Deutsche Post BMW M4 DTM, and that is the very car there. Ex-Formula One star, of course, and Timo Glock going from P14, Chris Hartley.
Yeah, he was much lower down until towards the end of qualifying. He made quite a few spots up in the last couple of minutes of the session. But as we've seen, although it's a street circuit, there is opportunity to overtake at this track. So grid isn't absolutely everything like it is at some other street circuits around the world, but still certainly a lot of work to be done from 14th on the grid. There is Gary Paffett, who for the first 3 rounds of this year's championship was forced to start at the very back of the pack. He had a very good qualifying session yesterday and managed to convert that into a podium finish, his second of the year, but a slightly average qualifying for him earlier on today. He's just outside the top 10.
But let's not discount him. He's vastly experienced, of course, knows the Norisring circuit inside out, and seen some of the best drives from Gary Paffett when it's all been against him. Huge crowd here at the Norisring. It is our Monaco, and delighted to be here as we look at Danny Juncadella in the dark there, preparing for this race. Longer race than yesterday, of course, Chris, which features a mandatory pit stop.
Yep. New format for this year with the 2 races, so a 60-minute race, and in the middle third is when the drivers must take this mandatory pit stop in the race. Lots to look forward to.
There, you can see just how they're packed into this Norisring. It is always one of the biggest crowds as we look at Maxime Martin and Jens Marquardt through the lens of his sunglasses there. Maxime Martin going from P9. Of course, he took victory at the Moscow Raceway last year, his maiden DTM victory. GT star that Maxime Martin is, and very much a star of DTM now. Mike Rockenfeller with huge support here as a backdrop to the starting grid. Spengler, Vittoris, Wickens. Then it's Ekstrom, Auer, Wehrlein, Jamie Green, Paul de Resta, Maxime Martin, Danny Juncadella, Gary Paffett and Augusto Farfus. Those are the top 12, with the second page of the grid featuring Tombe, Glock, Müller, Goetz, Felix da Costa, Mortara, Rockenfeller, Blomqvist, Tomczyk, Wittmann, Scheider and Miguel Molina. Dieter Gas from Audi is with Verena now.
Hello there again. Yes, Dieter Gas. Now, you had fantastic two race weekends, and obviously Audi was so dominant. But now the cars are really, really heavy, obviously, and I guess now you're starting to feel the weight. Does that mean you're just kind of trying to minimize the point deficits at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's mainly what we can be hoping for. Having said that, we have Matthias in P4 on the grid. I think with an extraordinary lap in the qualifying this morning. He has a good race pace, and so has Jamie as well from P7. He showed that already on Friday in the free practice. So I don't think we're giving up yet. Even with all the weight in the car, we are going to try to push, and maybe we can manage to get on the podium. Would be good.
All right, then, well, best of luck. Thank you very much, Dieter Gas, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. So Dieter Gas's bold ambition then is a podium place, and that's certainly not out of the question, is it? As we take a fantastic heli shot here. And Audi, it has to be said, still in the Drivers' Championship, very dominant with Jamie Green, Matthias Ekstrom and Eduardo Mortara, top 3 places. Then it's Mercedes-Benz. And BMW, best BMW to show, Chris, is number P9, Martin Tomczyk.
Yeah, Martin had a good race yesterday, didn't he? Got past late on in the race, Jamie Green, to get 6th position. There is yesterday's winner, taking his 2nd DTM victory in only his 2nd season. Pascal Wehrlein is a bit further back on the grid for this one, in 6th place. Drove really well at the start of the race yesterday. One of few that opted to start on a damp track on slick tyres. He controlled it well. He dropped a few places, obviously, but he was in the mix and he was able to keep them behind. And there is Lucas Auer, another young driver in the championship. The Austrian, fresh from the FIA European Formula 3 Championship, 5th on the grid, his best starting position yet.
Brilliant qualifying from Lucas Auer. Very, very impressed with that. So we'll see what Lucas Auer can do from P5 on the grid. And Matthias Ekstrom, he goes from P4, and as Dieter Gas just alluded, is potentially, along with Jamie Green, Audi's best hope.
Yeah, and Dieter Gas talking about the success ballast which is added to the cars or taken away, depending on the results of your manufacturer within the top 10. So the 2 heaviest cars out there are Mike Rockenfeller and Eduardo Mortara. Both carry a total weight of 1,140 kilograms, which is up to 135 kilograms more than some of the lighter cars. So Edo Mortara, who's gone really well this season, and is 3rd in the championship, part of the reason I suggest what he's been quite a long way down the order. He's only 18th on the grid for this one, is that weight. And it's the extra weight that you're carrying into the corners, through the track, and coming out of the corners as well. So it's harder on the brakes, harder on the tyres, and it doesn't sound like an awful lot, but when you consider that the whole grid, 24 cars, was covered by 0.6 of a second this morning, anything counts.
We just saw Robert Wickens, and there is Christian Vettoris, but the man of the moment, Bruno Spengler, back to his best and putting that BMW Bank M4 DTM on pole position and making Jens Marquardt very happy, I am sure. Jean Alesi, legend that is Jean Alesi, is with Verena.
We're absolutely thrilled that he is here today. Hello, Jean. You were in the DTM from 2002 to 2006. Is it good to be back here again?
Yes, of course. And what is nice is to see the cars. Obviously, technology is different than what I used to drive, but the cars looks very aggressive. The public is there. It's a huge party for motorsport, and that I love it.
And now finally here at the Norisring, it's starting to look good for Mercedes-Benz. What is your prediction for the race today?
Yesterday they won. I mean, they did the top 4 position. Of course, the competition with the weight penalty helped also the other teams, but that's part of the game. But I'm sure Mercedes can be strong again.
Right, we'll see. So thank you very much. Enjoy the race, and it is about to start, so back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Verena. Jean Alesi clearly listening to Chris Hartley then, because he agrees it's weight that's hampering Audi. There is Jens Marquardt from BMW as the formation lap is underway. Oh, the sense of excitement as this huge crowd, the sun shining, street circuit and DTM. It doesn't get any better than this.
As a manufacturer, Mercedes has dominated here in terms of wins in recent years. But you've got Jamie Green with Audi now, who is the king of the Norisring, 4 wins here. Bruno Spengler has done winning here as well, and he's had 3 wins, don't forget. So not with BMW, but he knows this track well. And if he can win here, you might have to start calling him the joint king of the Norisring as well.
Well, there is Jamie Green then, the man that has that title at the moment. And there, the starting grid in graphics for you on screen once again. The most impressive for me, I think, if I'm honest, is Lucas Auer. To put that car P5, very, very good show from Lucas Auer as well, and really, really hope he can develop the race pace to stay up at the front end of the pack. We will see. Of course, the DTM grid, there's the old guard in there who are very, very experienced. They know the cars, they know the tracks, and we've got this influx of new talent, Chris, on the grid as well. And Lucas Auer is one of those. But, of course, the experience he has from FIA Formula 3. He's been around this place a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was very quick here last year, if a little unlucky. There's the lap record, which, as you can see, Bruno Spengler holds, which he set in 2008. Jamie Green actually won that year, but he got the lap record, 48.466. I've got a feeling that that might tumble today. Track conditions look to be absolutely perfect.
3, 2, 1. More. Stop.
And that the engineers just guiding Bruno Spengler into exactly where he needs to be in his grid box. We have the benefit of team radio this year as well, just to add to the excitement of DTM for 2015. 2 races, 2 qualifyings across each race weekend. Into the Audi garage, there's Wolfgang Ulrich and Hans-Jürgen Abt. There's Uli Fritz and Toto Wolff, and there is Ingo, and alongside him is Jens Marquardt. We get the green flag from the marshal at the back. We are about to go racing. The lights you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. 3 red lights, 4 red lights. When the lights go out, we will be away. I suggest Bruno Spengler will try and dive to the left-hand side to protect that line. Gary Paffett on a charge already. Bruno Spengler does do exactly that as they head into the hairpin now. Side by side, Wickens and Vitoris. So Bruno Spengler converts his P1 position. We've got some carnage further down the order, Chris.
Yeah, but they're going to keep going, I think. They've just about, I mean, there's contact, but they keep going as Spengler leads Wickens with a brave move around the outside there to get himself into second place. He loves this circuit as well. Can he get another race victory here? Somebody, it was that Rocky going slowly in the background as well into the Scholler S's. I think he's in strife, and he's dropped almost to the back of the field. Looks like Timo Glock has dropped further back as well. So a bit of a melee, as you'd expect, Dave, in the middle of the field. But Gary Paffett looks like he's on a mission here. Had a great start. He's picking up another place as he comes towards the end of the lap.
Well, Lucas Auer is up to P4 as well as they cross the line. It's 1 lap already completed. Such a short lap, just 2.3 kilometres here. And Pascal Wehrlein making a move now on Matthias Ekstrom. Is that going to work? Gary Paffett, you're absolutely right. He's on a charge. No, the Wehrlein effort did not work. He's tucked back in behind Pascal Wehrlein. He's going to have his Mercedes compatriot alongside him shortly. Gary Paffett, as in comes Augusto Farfus and also Mike Rockenfeller with significant damage, Chris.
Yeah, so we didn't quite see what it was, but that contact in the first half of the first lap, Rockenfeller coming to grief. So with his army of fans, we'll be very, very disappointed indeed with this as into the garage he goes. But at the head of the field, the top 3 just starting to eke away now. Spengler, Wickens, Vitoris, and Gary Paffett on the first lap went from 11th up to 7th place in the blue and yellow Mercedes run by ART Grand Prix in their first season with DTM.
So Gary Paffett, P11 to 7. Jamie Green going backwards, but tell you who isn't going backwards, that's Robert Wickens. He's right on the back of Bruno Spengler now, and Spengler's going to really have to defend with that BMW. You still see some debris down there in that hairpin from the earlier collision. Also in strife there, that is Maximilian Goertz.
He was out pretty early in the race yesterday as well, so difficult weekend for Max, who's gone well in Masters GT racing in recent times. Through the S's they go. Under investigation for an inaccurate grid position is Lucas Auer. Now, you heard from the team radio, Dave, the team's having to guide the drivers in because they can't see the front of the car to get it in the right space and exactly in the right place. And if he's too far forward, then he might be penalised for that. It's being looked at.
Right, we've got DRS enabled now, and we have got a very, very naked Timo Glock car. The whole front end has gone.
It's like a hot rod, doesn't it? So that's going to be pit bound. Timo Glock, who started 14th on the grid. Again, difficult weekend. I think this is the car already damaged, but probably back to lose a bit more bodywork here. Looking a bit tatty, so I'll probably join the race. But trouble is here, Dave, you'll lose a lap very quickly, won't you, in the pits? Yeah. And that was the bonnet flying off.
Well, the whole front end really did take off there, and the safety car is deployed because that's where it's ended up. Well, dare I say it, Chris, Robert Wickens will be rubbing his hands thinking, safety car, brilliant. I'm going to be right on Bruno Spengler. He was right on him anyway. There was only 5 tenths between them. Vitoris is P3. Now, Lucas Auer, we appreciate he is under investigation, and he is P4 with Ekstrom, Wehrlein, Paffett, De Resta, then it's Martin and Jamie Green. Let's see a replay of the start here, and no surprise as Bruno went to defend that inside line, Chris.
Yeah, got it off the line pretty well. That was Paffett making a terrific start. Hooked that up beautifully. Got a space just before he got to the first kink, and then he was brave into the hairpin as well, going around the outside like Gary Paffett. And Wickens likewise around the outside of Vitoris to get to second place. Lucas Auer very nearly clattered the wall on his march up to fourth position. And then, yeah, that was where Glock came to grief at the first hairpin, wasn't it? And then get a different angle. Yeah, Timo Glock was nerfed from behind, wasn't he? So that was what happened to him.
Was it Gertz doing the nerfing, do you think?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Let's have a look here.
Yeah, it was Max Gertz. Very similar livery to Paul the rest of it, with the blue trim on. Yeah, it was Max Gertz, which probably explains why he's come into the pits as well. Yeah, there he is. Marco Wittmann was just behind that and snuck through and gained a couple of handy places.
And that part of the BMW ended up on the track as we saw it flying through the air, and that is what has provoked the safety car. And that is Augusto Farfus, who's not having a lot of luck this season, that's for sure.
Out already, yeah.
So who have we got out? We've got Glock, Gertz, Farfus and Rockenfeller out.
Yeah, the damage from the impact. And it was already loose, and just the speed, the wind going under the bonnet lifted it up.
Now, Jean Alesi was saying when he was talking to Verena that these cars look so aggressive, don't they? And so, you know, brilliant to look at, but they're actually very, very sensitive.
There's Max Gertz. So, want to scratch off this weekend. He's never really had a look in, has he? So, one of the drivers out already is Mike Rockenfeller. He's talking to Verena down in the pits.
Yeah, what a big shame, Rocky. Race ended way too soon for you, obviously. From your perspective, what exactly happened?
I think I just braked a bit too late, and I don't know if I got touched from behind, but I think it was my fault. I had a really good start, and then in corner one, you know, it's like in a traffic jam, everybody brakes, and I locked up the front, and I touched Da Costa. He almost came to a full stop, and I wasn't ready for that. And then, yeah, I couldn't slow down enough, and I touched him, and my radiator was broken, so I had to come in.
Very unfortunate, but it's also kind of typical Norisring, right? It always happens in that first corner.
Well, yeah, it's normal, but obviously the problem starts when you start from the back. It's always a lottery.
Thank you very much. Too bad to hear that about Rocky, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena, for getting hold of Rocky so very, very quickly there. We're on board with Bruno Spengler. I think safety car is coming in this lap, and I can also see that car number 22 is going to get a pit stop penalty for 5 seconds for that inaccurate grid position.
Lucas Auer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a real shame.
And 5 seconds is going to hurt.
Back underway then, and Bruno Spengler has got company, Dave, down towards the first hairpin in the form of Rob Wickens.
So no surprise that Robert Wickens then anticipating Bruno Spengler's getaway from the start, and he's going to stick with him like glue, isn't he? Then we see Christian Vitoris and Lucas Auer, P3, P4. Then it's Matthias Ekstrom for Audi is P5. And Gary Paffett, absolutely, his charge is continuing. He's got Pascal Wehrlein ahead of him. As you can see, the two Mercedes running together there in P6 and P7, and Paul de Resta not far behind in P8 either, but at the moment it's Bruno Spengler that's leading the way. Robert Wickens, though, is chasing him every single centimetre of the way also.
I'm going to let Lucas Auer in shortly for his penalty. He'll have to make that call within the next 3 laps. The pit stop penalty. So, real shame for Lucas Auer after a great start to the race, and just his slightly inaccurate positioning on the grid. So he's going to drop out of 4th place. That will put Matthias Ekstrom up to 4th, looking for his first win at this circuit. He did cross the line first here a couple of years ago, but was later excluded. So unfinished business for Eki here, and let's see if he can charge through.
So, There is Spengler, and there is Wickens. They're on their way through and complete another lap here at the Norisring. I'm just reading that because I'm wondering whether pit stop penalty of 5 seconds, whether he's going to have 5 seconds bolted on to the mandatory pit stop that he's got to make rather than coming in to serve a drive.
Wouldn't be so harsh, would it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I think that's probably what it means, Chris. We will see. Now, Max Gertz is going to be reported to the stewards of the meeting for causing a collision. Now, Augusto Farfus we saw as one of the early retirees. And he's with Verena now.
And I'm here with Augusto Farfus. Very, very unfortunate. It hit you in the first turn. What happened exactly?
I got the hit in turn 1. I think some of the drivers, they forgot to brake. It's crazy. The level here sometimes gets way too much. People start and believe turn 1's the end of the race. I just got hit. Someone just forgot to brake. For me, this is unacceptable in a championship like this.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you very much, Augusto. And back to you guys.
Well, Verena, you did very, very well to get hold of Augusto Farfus, who's clearly very, very angry. He's basically saying, you know, some people just didn't brake.
Yeah, he's a really down-to-earth guy, and not often see him angry like that, do you? But yeah, I mean, he's absolutely right. It's an hour-long race, and there was a lot going on the first lap. But as Mike Rockenfeller gave a quite honest account of what he did. You know, they're all concertinaing up. People are braking earlier than you expect, and you can easily get caught out and run into the back of somebody. Mike held his hands up, but Augusto was on the back end of somebody else running into him.
And you always get that with Mike, don't you? He's very humble, and he's the very first to admit it when he makes a mistake. But Augusto Farfus clearly very, very angry indeed. Bruno Spengler is leading this race with 4/10 of a margin, which is next to nothing over Robert Wickens, who is P2. Christian Vitouris is P3. Then we see Lucas Auer P4. Then it's Matthias Ekström for Audi P5. Then it's Wehrlein and Paffett running in P6 and P7.
Fastest lap of the race has gone to Pascal Wehrlein last time around, 48.8 he's into now.
I was just going to say, he's have a little bit of gap over Gary Paffett, so that comes as no surprise.
Only 4/10 away from the lap record. So the best BMW in yesterday's race was the man who leads, Bruno Spengler. Led a late charge, almost caught up the pack of 4 Mercedes, which took the top 4 spots. Had the race been a few minutes longer, it'd have been in the mix, but just as he got up to the back end of them, the flag came out. So after a quiet start to the year, Bruno really going well here and leading the charge. The best BMW in last year's race was Marco Wittmann, who finished 6th, so this is a good turnaround for BMW.
Yes, it is. Marco Wittmann currently running in P16. So as they all cross the timing line yet again, Robert Wickens, his charge on Bruno Spengler is absolutely relentless. He's not letting him rest for a moment, is he? Bruno Spengler is, having to drive this race so hard and keeping a weather eye on the rearview mirror as well, which is full of that Robert Wickens Mercedes-Benz. He's following him absolutely wheel track for wheel track, isn't he?
Yeah, just a little look at the inside there, didn't he, on the way into the hairpin, through the S's, kissing the wall. They come through. Lucas Auer trying to stay with them, but knowing that he's got this penalty to serve later on in the race. Eki in 5th place, Wehrlein 6th, Paffett, Di Resta next up in 7th and 8th. They're all tied together as they come out of the second hairpin. Those 8s just making a little bit of a break for it now as they come to complete another lap.
Absolutely exhausting for the drivers because they cannot be off it for any length of time at all here at the Norisring. It's such a short lap, and it is a really, really demanding circuit. And Robert Wickens dives up the inside. Bruno Spengler will try and get him on the switch back here. Robert runs a bit wide, just clunks into the wall, and they are going to be... No, he's gone through. Robert Wickens has made that place count and pass... that is Christian Vitouris who's going through as well now. All of a sudden... My goodness me, Lucas Auer is having a go. Also, Bruno Spengler going from 0 to 0. He's going to lose 3 places in one hit, Chris.
And that is how tight it is. He might lose another one here. Look, barreling up the inside comes Eki. So Ekström has a go as well, and he's done it. 4th place for him. So in the matter of, 10 seconds, Bruno Spengler goes from the lead down to 5th place. Just that little lost momentum.
The race is...
So Wickens, tremendous move that, wasn't it? Around the outside into the hairpin. He knew he'd have the inside line if he could just stay in front. Going into the Scholler S's, Vitouris through the S's themselves. Really tight part of the course to get himself into 2nd place. So another of our early retirees is Timo Glock. He's got a quick word for us down with Verena.
Timo, talk us through what happened. I believe Maximilian Götz, I think, hit you, and after that it was all over for you.
I have no idea who was it. I mean, it was a big hit from the back, and the guy pushed me into the guy in front of me, and game over straight away. I mean, my car was destroyed in the first moment. I thought I can continue. My engine cover was just popping up a bit, but then suddenly the water sprayed out, and the engine cover went off, so it was game over.
Thank you very much, Timo. Bad luck there, obviously, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. Well, this split screen means that we're able to watch the replay of Robert Wickens getting the applause from his team, because he did a fantastic job, didn't he? Let's see it from on board as well. This on-board shot coming from the Christian Vittoris car.
That was a good move as well, wasn't it?
It was a good move, but it's just like Spengler left that door wide open, didn't he?
And then as he had to get out of the way of Vittoris, Lucas Howard just got more speed coming out of the corner and drove past him. And then it was like he was sort of gobsmacked, wasn't it? And couldn't quite get his rhythm back. And with a great bit of outbraking, Eki was able to get through as well in the Audi.
Yes, and it wasn't far short of Pascal Wehrlein. He was certainly having a go as well. So it is a change at the front. There is Bruno Spengler, who led from the off. And now he's got the front end of the back end of the Matthias Ekström Audi as his front end view now. And Eki right at the back of Lucas Auer. Then it is Bruno Spengler. And Maxi Götz is another one that's out of this race early on, and he's with Verena too.
Yep, I grabbed him as well. Now, Maximilian, what exactly happened? Why did you why were you not able to brake? Did you have a problem with your brakes, or why did you brake so late?
Yeah, it was. It looks like my mistake. I braked quite late. I was looking on the right side on the mirror because Motaro was beside me, and yeah, I had not the perfect start. I lost one place, and I tried to catch up. Yeah, what I lost after the start, and suddenly the car in front of me stopped, and then yeah, it was already very close. I pushed the brakes hard. I had locking wheels, and then it was for me no chance to avoid the collision with Timo. And then Timo pushed the other car, so I think it was my fault.
Well, I guess it just happens, right? Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's racing, but in the end it's a shame because it's my home race. I was in a good shape today, and the position was not so bad to be in top 12 or 13 in the end of the race. So yeah, it's really disappointing, and also for the other drivers, they're pushed out, and yeah, sorry for that.
Thank you so much, and back to you guys.
Well, more honesty there from Maximilian Götz, and as Hans-Jürgen Abt looks on there now, Matthias Ekström with a DRS assist, wasn't it? Very much so, has got past Lucas Auer. And again, with the split screen, we're able to see that unfold whilst Verena was talking to Maximilian Götz. So there is Matthias Ekström, and now Bruno Spengler is piling the pressure back onto Lucas Auer. We go on board with Bruno Spengler right now. Through the Scholler S, right, then very, very tight left, out onto the concrete paved area there, getting very, very close to the wall, each and every one of these cars. Millimetre precision from these drivers in the DTM.
Paul de Resta up to 8th place. He's found a way past Maxime Martin and has caught the back of the train. So the ex-Formula 1 racer, ex-DTM champion, the Scotsman on the tail of Gary Paffett. There he is in the white Mercedes, just about 2 lengths back. And then you've got this big gap back then to Maxime Martin and the next group of cars. And Jamie Green in the mix. Jamie Green is out of the top 10, out of the points at the moment, which for the championship leader is going to be very bad news indeed. He's had a very strong start to the season. He's had 3 wins. He's only had 1 non-point scoring finish this year. 7th place yesterday, but at the moment, out of the top 10 for Jamie Green in the orange 53 Audi.
So let's recap where we're at. Robert Wickens leads this race. He has 4 tenths over Christian Vittoris, who's P2. Then it's Matthias Ekström, P3. And we're watching the Maxime Martin car there, which is currently running in P9. And Jamie Green with a bold and ambitious move up the inside there. But that also allows Danny Juncadella to get right alongside. We're on board with Jamie Green now. as he absolutely nails this car, and Danny Juncadella is right on him. Maxime Martin, the big loser in that little battle, wasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he's lost 2 places. He's been going backwards, actually, in recent laps, hasn't he? He's lost quite a few positions. But yeah, a little bit of contact there. It was an aggressive but just about fair move, I'd say, from Jamie Green to get himself back up into the points. Just ahead of them is Felix da Costa in 9th place. He's sort of out on his own at the moment in between these 2 groups of cars. At the head of the field, Robert Wickens, only 9 thousandths of a second quicker than Christian Vettoris, so the gap remains at 0.4 seconds. Ekstrom is about 2 seconds back in 3rd position, and Lucas Hauer really holding his own here. I mean, he's going to drop back when he gets his penalty later on, but he's making a name for himself. He's only been a DTM driver for a few months, but he's mixing it with the big boys, Dave.
Yeah, and good on him for so doing. Okay, let's take a look here as we go on board momentarily. There is Robert Wickens. Through that hairpin he goes. Christian Vettoris within 4 tenths of being with him, and those two really have broken away from Matthias Ekstrom, haven't they? It's like a Mercedes show, P1 and P2 at the moment, and they are a little bit out on their own. Matthias Ekstrom just checking out the margin. He's some 2.2 seconds down on the race leader. So Robert Wickens, Christian Vettoris then, and you can see there from our heli shot just how the gap is. And Lucas Hauer, as you quite rightly say, is holding his own there, isn't he? He's got Spengler for company as we see Toto Wolff, who's looking on at his 2 cars that are P1 and P2 at the moment. And Gary Paffett running in P7 now. It wasn't so long ago, Pascal Wehrlein was very, very quick indeed.
Yeah, Sepping and Flatmate, you're talking tenths of a second, aren't you, on each lap? That is the only difference between them. Top 2 broken away, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. All tied together now. This series of long straights, they do 245 kilometres an hour at the end of the start-finish straight, and then they go down to 1st gear and drop down to about 55 kilometres an hour. So it's a big braking opportunity. Juncadella into the pits. Tyre change. Have to change all 4 tyres during the mandatory pit stops, which have to be run in the middle 3rd of the race, which we're just about into now. So it's the middle 20 minutes of the 60-minute race where you have to make this mandatory pit stop. You can't do that if there's a safety car period, though.
So here is race leader Robert Wickens and Christian Vettoris in P2, both of them driving absolutely exemplary races at the Mo. And there is Matthias Ekstrom with Lucas Hauer, Bruno Spengler, Pascal Wehrlein and Gary Paffett behind. We look at the Lucas Hauer car now ahead of Bruno Spengler. It's a splitter cam that we have here from the Bruno Spengler car, and Bruno at work in the BMW here. Fantastic shots that we're able to bring you. And that is Maxime Martin on his way out of the pit lane. And so too the number 51 car as well of Nico Müller.
So quick turnaround in the pits. They can change all 4 tyres, all 4 Hankook tyres in less than 3 seconds. There's no refueling these days in DTM. And there's no mixed compounds, so it's the same compound of tyre for everybody throughout the whole race. There's no option and standard tyre like there has been in recent seasons. Just slicks and wets, and that's it. So a bit of pressure on the teams to try and eke out. You can imagine trying to eke out 2 or 3 tenths of a second in the pits could actually make 1 or 2 positions difference out on the track.
Yes, it's that close. So back on board we are with Bruno Spengler then, currently running in P5. And Pascal Wehrlein now just a bit closer to Bruno Spengler, I feel. And of course what they're going to do, the P1 and P2 cars here of Robert Wickens and Christian Vettoris could be encountering some traffic soon of those cars that have been in for their pit stop and have rejoined the race. Jamie Green is in.
That's the first driver from the top 10 to come in, isn't it? So that's the first of the front-running group to make it into the pits.
We run the clock here. A sub 3 second time would be good. It's not the best time we've seen. It's 3.5 seconds for Jamie Green's team. And he leaves the pit lane now.
And he's passed by Juncadella. He was in front of, wasn't he? I think before the pit stop. So
Juncadella has been in. Here's P1, here's P2. So Wickens and Christian Vittoris. Now, I just wonder whether these are going to come in together. Wonder what the strategy will be. That's being worked out by minds cleverer than ours. You can bet your bottom dollar on the pit purchase and on the pit wall at the moment.
Part of it will be based on traffic on the circuit as well. If you're coming up to any pack markers, where you're going to come out. Back on board with Bruno Spengler, former race leader, into the pits to make a stop is Antonio Felix da Costa. Portuguese driver out. Ooh. 10-second stop. Disastrous. Now, he was in the points. He was in 9th place before the pit stop started. So that is not good. What happened? Front right, I think, with the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on the nut, or there's a problem with the nut on the gun. So 7 seconds lost. That's probably going to put him out of the top 10 once they all make their pit stops.
Right, in comes Pascal Wehrlein. Now, he was right with Gary Paffett. So Pascal Wehrlein comes in, need a good stop from the team here. We run the clock on it. 3.3, and Pascal Wehrlein is back out again.
Not quite as quick as the stops we saw in yesterday's race, are we? Saw several under the 3-second mark. Here's the reigning champion, Marco Wittmann, 4.5. It's still really impressive, but yeah, compared to what they can do, it's slightly tardy.
Now, look at the traffic that Wickens and Vittoris are going to be up against now. Here comes the rejoining Marco Wittmann, the current champion, and Robert Wickens will dive up the inside. Well, Wittmann didn't make that easy, did he?
Not at all. Not at all. But he'll still lead. But now you start to think, right, should we bring our driver in? Team radiator Robert Wickens. Gary Paffett comes in from that lead group. He was up there in 7th place.
Oh, no!
That's a slightly sluggish stop as well, isn't it? Back left, I think, was the problem. So that's 6 seconds. And here you go. It could easily cost you a couple of places, that. So if you're in the lead group, there's all this traffic ahead now. Maybe this is the time to bring in the leaders. Still got plenty of time to make the decision. We're only 5 minutes into the 20-minute pit window, if you like.
Well, a really good stop could have seen him vault Pascal Wehrlein, but in the end it didn't.
Yeah, Wehrlein's stop was about 1.5 seconds quicker, wasn't it?
And also in, here comes Bruno Spengler and Matthias Ekström. So Eki pulls into his pit box. And in two now, Bruno Spengler and the team go to work. We run the clock on Matthias Ekström at 2.8. Bruno Spengler at 2.7. Back to the times that we know.
Don't make any difference to the positions, but just ever so slightly closer is Spengler. But those two, both with good pit stops, might be able to leapfrog forward a little bit if others around them lose a second or so in their pit stops to come. The likes of Wickens, Vittoris, Auer, we know he's going to have a slower pit stop. Di Resta at the moment is up to 4th place. Hasn't been into the pits as yet, though, but good stops from both of those teams.
So Bruno Spengler back out then. Here is our race leader, Robert Wickens. Christian Vittoris is P2. When are the teams going to decide to bring these drivers in? Well, we keep watching Rob Wickens and Christian Vittoris through the shoulder as they go now out onto the paved area. And oh, so close once again to the wall. Phenomenal stuff, and just look at the traffic they're going to encounter ahead of them. Blue flags being waved, of course. I just have a feeling they might be going for the pit lane right now, Chris. But my feeling is completely incorrect.
So of the drivers that have made their pit stops, Matthias Ekström is the leading pit stopper in 8th place. Then you've got Bruno Spengler, and then you've got Pascal Wehrlein, then you've got Gary Paffett. So Paffett, as you quite rightly said, not able to springboard past Wehrlein. Juncadella made good progress, so he's next up behind Paffett, ahead of Jamie Green. We've got still, though, Wickens, Vittoris, Di Resta, Auer to make their pit stops. Molina, who's in 5th place. Tom Blomqvist has just come in from 6th place. Timo Scheider, who started near the back of the field, has just come in from 7th place. So we've now only got the top 5 that haven't been in the pits.
Right, so that's going to be very exciting to watch when that unfolds, isn't it? So will it be this time around? Keep us guessing. There's Matthias Ekström running that livery. Hans-Joachim Stuck we saw right at the beginning of the programme. Running the same livery that was on that Quattro car. There's Robert Wickens. There is Christian Vittoris. They're staying out still, and they are mired in traffic now.
Ekstrom has just set the fastest middle sector of the whole race, so 14.6. He's got clear track. He's trying to get his head down. His last lap was a 48.9, and he's one of the quickest drivers out there. Bruno Spengler also. That he goes through 48.8, a new fastest lap, 48.5 for Bruno Spengler. So these two are trying to get their heads down and close the gap while the others make their pit stops in the next, well, 8 minutes' time.
And unfortunately, you know, they are mired in traffic, so they're slower, aren't they? So Ekstrom and Spengler here, as you can see on screen, doing a great job. They've not got the traffic around them. Robert Wickens and Christian Vitouris do get past now, but what do they find ahead of them? Another 2 cars. Inevitably, there is going to be traffic. And just wondering whether, from a strategic point of view, it was a mistake not to bring them in earlier, Chris.
Yeah, so Spengler's just gone 4/10 quicker on that lap than Wickens. It doesn't sound a lot, but there were, you know, the top 8 were all pretty much bunched together, weren't they? So if you can, in the next few laps, get a second back, a second and a half back, could make a big difference.
Right, box this lap for Robert Wickens.
Yeah, he's been told to come in. So Robert Wickens, race leader, comes in. Vitouris will pick up the lead.
Did you pull the brakes?
Right, we throw up to the screen where Wickens is and where Ekstrom is on the track. This is going to be so crucial for the team to get this absolutely nailed.
You need to push a lot at the beginning. You need to push a lot at the beginning.
And all the time, Spengler is closing up to Eki as well.
A 2.5 second stop. The team have delivered. The team have delivered.
Clear track, clear track.
Here comes Robert Wickens.
There's Ekstrom and Spengler in the background, look.
Well, great work from the team. Now what Robert needs to do is get that up to speed just as quickly as he possibly can.
So these 3 guys have all made good stops, haven't they? They've all been sub 3 seconds, but the slightly better one was Robert Wickens.
Yeah, 2.5. Here comes Christian Vitouris now. And this one equally as crucial, isn't it? So there is Vitouris and there is Ekstrom on the screen graphic on the right-hand side of your screen. Right. Down there, let's run the clock on it. It's not such a good one.
Could be good news for Ekstrom and Spengler, this.
4.2 seconds.
There goes Wickens. He's going to hold on to the lead. I think he'll stay second, but they're going to be much closer to him, especially down at the hairpin. They're carrying a lot of speed. Spengler's got the run as well. This is going to concertina up, but Vitouris, although he lost a second or so to those 2 in the pits, will hang on to his position. Second, third, and fourth there. You are looking at effectively, they're not at the moment because you've still got Paul Di Resta and Lucas Auer, first and second, who've yet to pit. As I say that, Di Resta comes in, Dave.
Yeah, so Paul Di Resta will be in. Lucas Auer, of course, has got a penalty to serve during his pit stop, as well as we watch Paul Di Resta making his way into the box now. And again, the team have to go to work. And every single second and tenth of a second is crucial. 3.2 second stop for Paul Di Resta. He's back on his way out.
Just ahead of Wehrlein, isn't
Ahead of Pascal Wehrlein.
So just Lucas Auer to make the pit stop, and Miguel Molina as well. It's not been in. Lucas Auer might just enjoy his moment in the sun here and lead the DTM race for as many laps as he can.
Fair point, yes.
But effectively, our race leader is going to still be Robert Wickens once the pit stops are done.
And there is Lucas Auer serving his penalty. 5 seconds. Now he can get on with the job of the pit stop. Incorrect grid position. It's got to be as much the team's fault as it is his, surely, because they guide him into the box.
As Robert Wickens just squeezing past Miguel Molina. Molina yet to pit, so that's actually for position, but Molina is obviously going to drop quite a long way down the order. But he's going to be the last pit stopper, Miguel Molina, number 17. Currently up there with the leaders, and still quite a long time to go in the pit window. You can go the middle 20 minutes, so you've got another 7 minutes odd to be able to pit.
There is Paul Di Resta and Pascal Wehrlein.
So Wehrlein sort of lost out slightly in those pit stops, didn't he? And up a position into 7th has gone Paul di Resta, because before all the pit stops he was in 8th place.
We are back to P1 now. We are back to P1.
But the one that lost out was Gary Paffett, wasn't he?
Purple sector 2 and purple sector 3.
Robert Wickens then doing great sector times, and Matthias Ekstrom, as we're on board with Bruno Spengler, looking at the back end of the Matthias Ekstrom car. Through the Scholler S, there's our race leader, Robert Wickens. Now, an advantage that Robert Wickens has, of course, is the fact that he's got that Audi, and not only that Audi, he's also got Christian Vittoris acting as his wingman, really, Chris, because he's able to get up the road, Robert Wickens, isn't he? And he's got some protection from the ravages of the Audi and the BMW.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday, once Mercedes had got the first 4 places, they weren't too keen to get involved in a scrap with one another, were they? They wanted the result, because they haven't had too many great results. Yep, there's Miguel Molina on older tyres, because he's yet to pit, and he's going to have to concede a position to Christian Vittoris. So Vittoris into 2nd place. Molina a bit of a spanner in the works as it stands. There's Ekstrom not too far back. Bruno Spengler in 5th, but they'll become 3rd and 4th once the Molina car goes in to make its pit stop. There's yesterday's race winner, number 94, Pascal Wehrlein. I'm not sure the 3rd win of his career is going to come yet, but it has been a good weekend for him.
Well, we heard from the team that Wickens was set in brilliant sector times. He's just done the fastest lap of the race. He's on his way up the road, isn't he?
New lap record, 48.287, 2/10 quicker than the lap record from, what, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And that is Matthias Ekstrom to the left of your picture, going past Miguel Molina. And you're on board now with Bruno Spengler, who's going to do exactly the same under braking on the way to the Grundig hairpin. Molina is just trying something different here, because he had a lowly grid position. He's trying a different strategy to try and maybe get up towards the tail end of the points. Now, Adrian Tombe getting a little tap on the shoulder there from Da Costa.
Some of the aero stuff being thrown off that car and broken, isn't it? As Antonio Felix Da Costa and Adrian Tombe get together. So here is our race leader, Robert Wickens. Christian Vittoris is P2. Molina has now decided to go into the pit lane, Chris. So we are to the correct order effectively now, aren't we?
Yeah, Molina trying something different with the tyres. We're really going off. He started plumb last, though, didn't he? So he might as well try a different strategy. And if he can get a good pit stop here, let's see if it works for him. And he gains some positions. 4.5. It's not brilliant, but it's not the worst stop that we've seen. One or two sticking wheel nuts and wheel guns out there, weren't there?
Yep.
Gary Paffett was one of those victims, lost a few seconds in his pit stop. So Robert Wickens leads, 2.2 seconds clear of Christian Vittoris. They were nose to tail before the pit stop, so Wickens has got a bit of breathing space now. That's worked out for him nicely. Ekstrom is 3rd, Spengler is 4th, Di Resta is up to 5th.
1/10 faster than Chris. The gap is 2.3 seconds.
The team just letting Robert Wickens know the gap, know that Vittoris, the other Mercedes driver, is there in 2nd place. 6th position now is Pascal Wehrlein, 7th is Gary Paffett, Daniel Hungadea is in 8th place, Jamie Green, the points leader, in 9th, and Maxime Martin, number 36, he's back up into the top 10, so his pit stop worked out for him, didn't he? He's gained 3 or 4 positions there.
Wehrlein is quicker. Wehrlein is quicker. Don't hold up your teammate.
Okay, so Paul di Resta being advised that Pascal Wehrlein is quicker, and as if by magic, Pascal Wehrlein goes past him. So a change of place there, and now Pascal Wehrlein can get on his charge up the road. Pascal Wehrlein now up to P5. Paul di Resta drops down to P6. And then you can see the Gary Paffett car, which is running in P7 with Danny Yucatella P8. Now, I'm going to keep one eye on the lap times of Pascal Wehrlein in comparison to Bruno Spengler and Matthias Ekstrom. Wickens last time around was a 48.535, Vittoris a 48.571, and then both Ekstrom and Spengler 48.8s, Chris.
Yeah, 3/10 slower on that lap. 48.7 for Wehrlein. See what he can do now. He's got clear track in front of him. The rest are being advised that the driver behind, he did, was a bit quicker, and through he went. So let's see if Airline is quicker and can catch those ahead. There's Ekstrom, second in the championship standings, but now 23 points behind Jamie Green after Jamie outscored him yesterday. Matthias had a bad day at the office, but they've turned it around today. Much better qualifying performance, much better race pace. Matthias could close the gap here to the points leader Jamie Green, who's back in 9th position and only on for 2 championship points as it stands, but he's got to try and fend off Bruno Spengler. Had that just horrid half a lap, didn't he, where he dropped from 1st down to 5th place in quick succession.
So as they crossed the timing line, it was 48.4 from Wickens, 48.6 for Vitoris, and 48.6 from Ekstrom and Spengler, and actually a 48.7 from Wehrlein.
Yeah, which is about what he was doing before.
And in fairness, De Resta has kept with him, hasn't he?
Well, Robert Wickens looked like he got the pace to win at the end of the race yesterday. And you could tell that he wasn't entirely overjoyed with being on the podium but not being a race winner here. Thought he might have snatched pole position for the race, but he's just had the edge, hasn't he, in terms of longevity and long run pace. Robert Wickens, he's very, very quick around here. And he's going to take some stopping now because he's still the quickest man on the track. He's got the gap out to 2.5 seconds to Christian Vitoris.
Vitoris and Wickens are consistently lapping a couple of tenths quicker than Ekstrom and Spengler, aren't they? Although Wehrlein is not making the impression that I thought he would, if I'm honest.
Paul De Resta's probably thinking, what do you mean he's faster than me? I've let him past, and now he's not really getting away at all. So those two stuck together. On board with Bruno Spengler. The added incentive for Bruno is that if he can get past Matthias Ekstrom, not only is it more points, it's a podium, because they are 3rd and 4th. There's 5th and 6th, and there is Gary Paffett in 7th place. He's lapping very, very similar lap times to the two ahead, 48.7s for him as well. Likewise for Daniel Hunkadea in 8th place. So nobody really gaining ground on anybody else at the moment. Slightly slower lap for the race leader last time round, 48.7. So on that lap, he's caught a little bit by Christian Vitoris, who does a 48.5. But you're talking, you know, a few centimetres on the track. There's nothing significant yet, but we'll just keep an eye on it. But Wickens and Vitoris with the slightly fresher tyres, because they were the two to pit later on, weren't they?
Yes, you're absolutely right. There is Jamie Green then, running in P9. Maxime Martin is P10. Lucas Auer, following that time penalty that he had added to his pit stop, he is P11. So if Auer could find a way past Maxime Martin, he'd be jolly happy with that. It's his best showing, certainly. That's for sure from Lucas Auer. There's Jamie Green and Maxime Martin and Lucas Auer all getting very, very close to that unforgiving wall here at the Norisring. There, the difference between Maxime Martin and Lucas Auer. And so Lucas Auer in the all-pink Mercedes machine, hounding the Moscow Raceway DTM maiden winner last year. Maxime Martin in the BMW ahead of him, and ahead of him is the all-orange car of Jamie Green. On board we go once again with Bruno Spengler through the Scholler S here, who's chasing down Matthias Ekstrom, although Ekstrom certainly has got the measure of him at the moment as they run out onto the concrete paved part. Different surfaces around this Norisring circuit. Bear in mind, it's used for this weekend only. As a racing circuit, it is public roads with different types of asphalt and concrete all over the place here because it is used as a public thoroughfare during the course of the week ordinarily. It's just this one fantastic summer's weekend where it becomes this super race circuit, our effective Monaco here in Nuremberg in Germany.
Two champions at work here. You're on board with Bruno Spengler, and he, as a former champion and a 3-time runner-up in the championship, is onto the tail of Matthias Ekstrom, a double champion in DTM. And the most, or second most winning driver in the championship. He's had 19 DTM wins. Gary Paffett is the only one in the field that's had more wins, one more win with 20. The man that leads though, Robert Wickens, on course for his 3rd career victory. And that would be his 2nd at this circuit. and he's second on the bounce at the Norisring. So 48.623, similar lap time to Christian Vittoris, and almost identical lap time for Ekstrom. Actually, 48.6 is for the top three. A fraction quicker was Spengler, 48.598. So he's a tiny bit closer to the tail of Ekstrom now, but he's almost relying on a mistake, isn't he, from the Audi driver to find a gap somehow.
Mistake? Matthias Ekstrom?
They don't come very often, do they?
No, I don't think so. So, Dr. Harkenbach there from the Audi board watching on. And this train then, Jamie Green, Maxime Martin and Lucas Auer, as all three manufacturers from the DTM are represented in that little gaggle there. There's Audi, there's BMW, and there is Mercedes-Benz. So Jamie Green then, P9, Maxime Martin, P10. And just behind is new to DTM this year, Lucas Auer, up from the FIA Formula 3 European Championship from last year. Lucas Auer with this DTM drive. Lucas Auer, of course, nephew of Gerhard Berger.
Yeah, it's performing really well, isn't it? I mean, whatever happens, even if he doesn't get a point, this is his strongest drive so far. He's doing very nicely indeed. Yeah, that Formula 3 graduate Tom Blomqvist is back in at 19th position. Miguel Molina, his strategy of pitting late didn't really work because he's still last of the runners in 20th place. We've lost Timo Glock, we've lost Max Gutz, Augusto Farfus and Mike Rockenfeller all went out right at the start of the race with various damage from various bits of contact. Lucas Auer, definitely by a fraction, looks the quicker of the three drivers here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And not only new driver, but of course new team, the ART team in, and they're responsible for both Lucas Auer and Gary Paffett. Paffett currently running in P7.
Well, it has not been the best results so far this season for Audi, but they really did dominate last time out at the Lausitz Ring. They had a great run at Hockenheim as well, and this is untypical of the other circuits. It's a street track, and it doesn't mean they're not going to be competitive when we go to Zandvoort and the Red Bull Ring for the next two rounds of the championship. Mercedes was strong here last year, but they certainly weren't the strongest team as a whole package, but it just suits their car, their setup. But the irony is, of course, that Audi is their neck of the woods. The factory at Ingolstadt's only a few kilometres away, isn't it? Or
yes.
50 kilometres away or something, so
I wouldn't want to walk it, Chris. Right, we're on board with Maxime Martin then, who is in the middle of this, and you do feel that Lucas Auer is going to try and find a way past Maxime Martin, and I think Maxime Martin is having to really defend his position now. Lucas Auer just takes a look around the outside here. He'll try for the switchback now. I don't think it's anything like close enough to be able to do it. You've got Jamie Green at the head of this little gaggle running in P9. It's Maxime Martin is P10. Then it is Lucas Auer in car number 22 that is running in P11 at the Mo, and he of these, this little gaggle is looking the most feisty of them all, I would say.
Yeah, this isn't one of the circuits that's that hard on tyres, but it might be worth bearing in mind for the end of the race that Jamie Green was one of the first drivers to come in, so his tyres will be a little bit more worn than those two chasing him down as we go into the final 15 minutes of the race now.
So there, Pascal Wehrlein, who was passed Paul de Resta because he was clearly quicker than Paul de Resta, is not showing any signs of that at the moment, is he? As Paul de Resta has stuck right with him. We go back on board with the BMW bank driver Bruno Spengler, and he's chasing down that number 5 Audi of Matthias Ekstrom. There is Pascal Wehrlein, followed by Paul de Resta, and then it's Gary Paffett running in P7, so three Mercedes together there. Here's Audi BMW then, currently running P3 and P4 with Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler. This 2.3 kilometer circuit here at the Norisring in Nuremberg in Germany, providing a great backdrop to some fantastic racing. And still these three remain exactly as they were. Jamie Green
having to defend now though, isn't he?
He is now.
And Maxime Martin, he's definitely quicker at that part of the course. He gets the toe, he gets to use the DRS, of course, as well. And these days you can use DRS up to 3 times a lap as long as you are within a second of the car ahead. So Jamie Green doing well to keep these two behind him because they both have the benefit of DRS and this reduction in the angle of the rear wing, which makes the car slicker in a straight line and is effectively giving them more horsepower. Jamie Green fending them off nicely at the moment in the Audi. This is his track. Second here last year, 4 times a winner. And now he's just trying to get as many points as he can. And in the nice position of having to consolidate his championship lead, of course.
Yes.
Which is not something he's really had to think about before, is it? Defending rather than attacking now. But look where he puts the car. He's definitely holding them up though, Dave.
Yeah, I think you're right, but of course Maxime Martin is in this unenvious position, isn't he? Where, you know, he needs to attack Jamie Green ahead of him, but what he doesn't want to do is allow Lucas Howard to take advantage of that as well, which he could, and we've seen it in races previously, you know, where you mount a challenge and it doesn't quite work out and you end up losing yet another place because of that. He's right in the middle of this sandwich here. He's hunting and being hunted as well, and Lucas Howard, I have to say, is keeping with them. On board with Bruno Spengler now, who's just turning the wick up a little bit on Matthias Ekström, and this is the battle for P3. Matthias Ekström is P3 at the moment, Bruno Spengler is P4. It's Audi versus BMW. The Matthias Ekström livery changed for this weekend, and we saw right at the start of the program Hans-Joachim Stuck, and the original livery that Matthias Ekström's car is adorned with this weekend to celebrate that anniversary. Bruno Spengler in the BMW Bank all-black machine. Crosses the timing line now. It's the long drag now towards the Grundig turn. And Spengler now dives to the outside of Matthias Ekström. Matthias tries to make that Audi as wide as possible to try and close off any opportunity for Bruno Spengler. He's not close enough to try the switchback either. It's hard work to overtake here when the cars are so evenly matched.
Yeah, exactly. There are places to pass here, but there's nothing between these drivers. Pascal Wehrlein is, in terms of Mercedes championship hopes, their best bet at the moment. He's in 4th place in the standings. He's the only Mercedes driver in the front-running positions in the top 6 at the moment, so you can see why they would favour him trying to pick up some points here. Paul di Resta has had 1 podium right at the start of the year, but that's his only point-scoring finish, although he was unlucky not to be in and around the top 5 or 6 yesterday, because Jamie Green, in trying to pass him, just gave him a tap, and there was damage to the car, span around, and out he went. Second time in 2 years that they've come together at this circuit. Last year it was on the formation lap, and they were together on the grid, weren't they, at the start of this race, but there wasn't an incident. Look at Maxime Martin there in the blue and white BMW. He's got a gap now, goes for the inside, there's contact. Jamie Green will have to concede. He's got no choice whatsoever. An aggressive move, a flick of the eyes into the mirror to make sure that the orange Audi is still behind him from Maxime Martin and the onboard camera, and through he goes, and it was his half chance, and he grabbed it with both hands, Dave.
Yes, he did, and
P10, yeah, now.
Let's see it in replay.
Yeah, Jamie was just slightly wide, wasn't it? He had to be aggressive to get through.
Good move, Max, good move. I think your car should be okay.
Good move, the team says, but look at how it's coming now, Dave, to go around the outside of Jamie Green. He's done it as long as he can stop the car and keep it on the way out of the hairpin, which he does.
Looks fine, I hope it's fine.
Well, that was a brilliant move from Lucas Howard, wasn't it? And from what we saw of it, absolutely clean and tidy as well. So fair play to Lucas Howard, who now finds himself into the top 10 and chasing down Maxime Martin. Now those two have been released from Jamie Green.
Okay, box.
He is slowing though. He's being told to box, so problem with the Jamie Green car now, and that is a shame.
Yeah, he was struggling on the tyres, but maybe he picked up a bit more damage as well. Yeah, I think something's broken on that car, presumably with the contact with Maxime Martin. It looked relatively light, but if it's at the wrong angle, at the wrong point of the car, they can break, can't they?
Goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning of the program. These cars look muscular and really heavy duty, and Jean Alesi said so aggressive, but actually, yeah, it is.
No, they're changing all 4 tyres, but they're not touching the car. Well, maybe it was a slow puncher. It didn't look totally delaminated, did it? But
well, he was certainly slowing, wasn't he?
Or maybe it's just the fact that the tyres are completely gone.
No.
He was struggling for a while. He did well to hold them back, but that looks like it's going to be his second non-point scoring finish of the weekend. Matthias Ekstrom is on for 15 points.
Here's the Lucas Auer move on Jamie Green.
Sitting duck, really, wasn't he, Jamie? Especially with the DRS and tyres that were going off. And Lucas just had to make sure he slowed the car down in time. Toto Wolff applauding the move of his young gun.
Both Toto and Susie applauding that, and I think that's justified, don't you? Because it was great showing from him.
That's Pascal Wehrlein running wide. Paul di Resta coming past.
Or was it Paul?
Yeah.
You were quicker than...
Yeah, but actually you're as quick as each other, just race. So they switch around. So di Resta back up to 5th, Wehrlein down to 6th position. So Robert Wickens leads by 3.6 seconds. Christian Vettoris is in 2nd place. Matthias Ekstrom, if he stays like this, will close the gap to Jamie Green to just 8 points in the championship. Bruno Spengler is the best of the BMWs in 4th. Di Resta is 5th. Wehrlein 6th. Paffett 7th. Hunkerdane 8th. Martin 9th. Lucas Auer in the points in 10th place.
Yeah, it's the first time I've looked at the clock. We've got 6.5 minutes left, Chris. I mean, where's the time gone?
Lucas Auer's not done with 10th place.
He isn't.
Yeah, he wants another position, please, and some more points. These are going to be his first points of his DTM career.
Now, bear in mind, he's also had to serve a 5-second pit stop penalty as well. So, Lucas Auer really going great guns here, isn't he?
He had the speed to be in the top 5 today, easily. Easily. Straight fight to the flag then between these two. BMW versus Mercedes, and he'll be able to deploy the DRS. So, as you'd expect, Maxime Martin keeps an eye on the mirrors, Dave.
Absolutely. There goes Lucas Auer. He commits to the outside. Maxime Martin. Now, Lucas Auer's going to be very, very deep. If he gets superior traction out, which he doesn't, Maxime Martin is able to hold off that move, isn't he, for now? But Maxime Martin's going to have to spend the next few laps, isn't he, constantly concerned with his rearview mirror full of that pink car behind him. So Lucas Auer, at the moment, running in P10, but he really rather fancies P9. There is Maxime Martin.
Robert Wickens has just done a 48.286, half a second.
Whoa!
Quicker than Christian Vettoris. So he's now over 4 seconds clear, just to prove the point. Here comes Lucas Auer again then. He's just over, I can see what he's doing. There's no point sitting behind on the inside line. It's covered, so try the outside line and try and cut back. But he just overdid it a bit, didn't he? DRS has been deployed. Now, this is more like it. Can he tuck back in? He's a bit closer this time, Dave. But no, Martin.
He cleverly didn't go all the way to the wall, did Martin, that time. So he's just denying every opportunity he can. And Lucas Auer really is harrying him now. I'm really, really impressed by this drive from Lucas Auer today.
Very good indeed, yeah. He has gone great guns. And there's nothing around them, so they're free to fight for this. Don't worry about any traffic or anything like that at the moment. Got a completely clear track. And Lucas Auer up against a very experienced driver here. Not that experienced in DTM. It's only his 2nd season, but with lots of GT experience and success behind him.
Nico Muller's car.
Into retirement. All right, down at the hairpin. There'll be more action, Dave, now.
DRS again, and now Lucas Auer is closer than he's ever been, but again, Martin there, cheeky look into the mirror. Stay there, chap.
Great driving, isn't it? He's just positioning that car exactly right. Maxime, if he runs a bit too wide anywhere, he knows that Mercedes is going to be past him.
Don't hold up your teammate. Don't hold up your teammate.
Paul di Resta being told not to hold up his teammate, having just gone past him. Pascal Wehrlein with, as I said, more points in the championship. Paul di Resta responds. Maxime Martin is looking in the mirror about every 4 seconds, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
There he is. And there's Paul di Resta, number 3. There's Pascal Wehrlein, number 94. I think they're worried that they're being caught by Gary Paffett as well, although he's also in the Mercedes, of course. He's catching them though, isn't he? Gary going well. Daniel Hunkerdane up next, but they're all Mercedes together, so there's not a threat from another manufacturer. And hey presto, through goes Wehrlein.
Now, the last time that happened, Pascal did not disappear up into the distance, did he?
No, there's nothing between them, is there? They're lapping exactly the same lap times, but Pascal carries the points out.
So 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go. The team radio. Wickens. 5 seconds clear now of Vitoris. Ekstrom on for another podium finish to add to the ones he's scored already with the win at Hockenheim and the 2 podiums at Norisring.
So we're on board with Bruno Spengler, who, if he can do anything about the podium for Matthias Ekstrom, he's going to try, isn't he? He's running out of time to do it. And 2 supremely experienced drivers here in Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler as well. And we're on board with Bruno Spengler at the moment. Oh, and just as I said it, he gets right alongside Matthias Ekstrom. They're very, very close together here. What he's doing is he's just going to make sure that Matthias is aware of the fact that, look, I'm just not going to settle for this. If there's any opportunity, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, don't forget he's got the benefit of DRS, which makes Ecky's drive even more impressive, doesn't it?
Does.
To have fended him off for so long. But that's as close as he's come. Bruno Spengler, a sign of intent there from him. There he is in the black number 7 BMW, the 2012 champion. Back on form after a barren 2014 season and a difficult start to this year.
To go 3 laps.
On the team, on the radio.
1 minute 30 to go, 1 minute 30.
And they know exactly how long he's left, so they know how many laps to go.
So Spengler again with the DRS assist is able to get really, really close to Matthias Ekstrom.
Tom Blomqvist under investigation for blue flags, yeah, for not getting out of the way, presumably, of quicker cars. As your race leader. 6.6 seconds clear now. He's 0.8 of a second quicker than Vitoris.
It's amazing. So, Robert Wickens then. 2 more laps, I would think, from my calculations. There is Christian Vitoris, and here once again Bruno Spengler lines up Matthias Ekstrom. He's going to dive up the inside now. Is Matthias Ekstrom going to give him racing room? They nerf together, they nudge. Spengler goes through. Ekstrom will try and get him back on the switchback. They're side by side once again, and Bruno Spengler very nearly run out to the wall there. Who is going to win this battle between the 2 of them? Bruno's in the right place now for this Scholler S, isn't he? And he closes the door on Matthias Ekstrom. Well, that was a harum-scarum moment, Chris.
Yeah, there was a bit of rubbing, but Bruno knew that that was the only chance he was going to get, and he was not going to let go of it. Ekstrom fought him hard. They were side by side all the way through the hairpin, all the way through the S's, but Bruno knew if he could just hang in on there, a right-hander was coming up, he'd have the best line. Here's a replay, so DRS deployed. He doesn't come across at him, but he has to go over the white line, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And off the track to get past him. Bit of rubbing, then Eki squeezes him for all he's worth, but he's fair, absolutely fair there. Ekstrom, he doesn't push him over towards the wall. 2 champions on the very, very edge there. And Bruno Spengler, of course, he led this race, so the very, very least he'd expect from it is a podium, having started on pole position. And he's got it back.
An hour has got past Maxime Martin.
Yeah. Great stuff. 9th place, his first points in DTM in the 3rd weekend of the championship.
Last lap, Bruno. You head into the last lap.
Of course, Eki, if he's close enough, he's going to have the DRS advantage now. You never know, do you? Down into the hairpin for the last time.
Stop it, do. Right, here comes Robert Wickens. We're on the last lap, and this man has been unstoppable today, hasn't he? Through the Scholler S as he goes in that Mercedes-Benz, outruns onto the paved area. He has the champion ahead of him. The champion is running down there in P13. P1 is this number 6 car of Robert Wickens, the Canadian, who now is heading towards the checkered flag, and Robert Wickens wins at Norisring.
Amazing job, you did it again. Thank you guys. Fucking great job.
P2 for Christian Vitoris. P3 for Bruno Spengler.
Cool the brakes, Bruno. Cool the...
P4 for Matthias Ekstrom. There's no congratulations from the team radio to Bruno, was there? Cool the brakes. Bruno, cool the brakes. Whoa, I've just got a podium.
Much better though, wasn't it? It's not the win he wanted, but it's a much better performance for BMW and in particular for Bruno Spengler. Hasn't been on the podium yet this season, so it's not the win, but it's a really good result for them. And hopefully they can build upon that. It's going to be a tight championship, this. Jamie Green's had 3 wins, Matthias Ekström has had a win, Pascal Wehrlein has been a winner, and now Robert Wickens is a race winner. They've had 6 races. So, yet another Mercedes victory. Uli Fritz will be delighted. And he's speaking with you, Verena.
Oh, he is so delighted. Sunny skies for Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes undefeated since 2003. Another double victory. My God, could you be happier?
No, for sure not. Incredible event and incredible weekend for the whole team. I think they all did a great job. 7 of all the 7 cars which were in the end, in the race, all in the top 10. So a great effort for the whole team, and thanks to the whole team.
Well, enjoy, congratulations, and back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Verena. So, Uli Fritz then, very happy as we see him replay. This was always going to come, wasn't it?
And it was never going to be easy.
No. No, you're right.
Hard but fair, I think, that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
From both drivers. I don't think they'll complain about it. Not Bruno, won't really. He's got the podium.
I hope we will see the Lucas Auer move as well, perhaps, in replay. Anyway, here is confirmation of the result. Robert Wickens takes the win from Christian Vittoris. Then it's Bruno Spengler, Matthias Ekström, Pascal Wehrlein, Paul di Resta, Gary Paffett, Danny Unkadea, Lucas Auer, P9, Maxime Martin, P10, and the rest of the order there for you to see. So, first points for Lucas Auer. And I have to say, Chris, I've been very, very impressed with Lucas Auer's drive today.
Yeah, he got the bit between his teeth. And, I mean, 9th place could have been a lot more than that. He had that penalty, that 5-second penalty. He could very well have been in the top 5 or 6 in this race. So, let's see if he can build up on that. But today, the weekend has belonged to Mercedes. The top 4 spots yesterday, the top 2 positions today were Robert Wickens and Christian Vittoris. Christian was on pole yesterday, of course, for the race as well. And a good result for BMW with Bruno Spengler 3rd and Matthias Ekström carrying the flag for Audi. You've had a difficult weekend, but I've had a couple of highlights. Jamie Green went well yesterday. Matthias has gone really well today for 4th place. Pascal Wehrlein with a win yesterday and a 5th today will be well pleased. And Paul di Resta, good to see him back.
Yes.
And the points in 6th. And Gary Paffett actually might have had a slightly better weekend on the podium yesterday. And had they not had that problem with his pit stop, 7th place could have easily been 4th, 5th or 6th today, couldn't it?
Yes. So the top 3 there. Mercedes-Benz. And P3 goes the way of BMW. And here in replay is the checkered flag for Robert Wickens. His race, his pace, it's been faultless, Chris.
Yeah, all weekend actually. 2nd yesterday, 1st today. Quick in qualifying, quick in free practice, quick in the warm-up, quick in all the conditions. I think there might be more wins to come for Robert Wickens at this circuit. He can join the Jamie Green and Bruno Spengler club, can't he?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
3rd career DTM victory for him. And the team absolutely chuffed to bits with their man, the Canadian. HW8 and up to 5th place in the championship after yesterday's result. Looking good for him. They've played catch-up very well here. And here are the standings, Dave, and that gap down to just 9 points now from 23 at the start of the race.
So Jamie Green on 81 points and Matthias Ekström 70, Pascal Wehrlein on 67. So the 1, 2, 3 in the points championship. This brilliant heli shot of the Norisring circuit. There is Bruno Spengler being congratulated by Ollie Sittler there, and can see Verena, who's standing by to try and get hold of them just as quickly as she possibly can. And drivers on their way up to the podium.
That's Christian Vittoris. Good solid weekend for him as well. 11 points, isn't it, the gap between the top 2. But more than halved it with that result as Matthias Ekström. And look now, top 3 finishers, great slow-mos. Move of the race, really, wasn't it? The one from Bruno Spengler, because he was patient. He waited and waited, and he got half a chance, not even half a chance, and he took it right at the end of the race to snatch 3rd place for BMW away from the Audi of Matthias Ekstrom.
And they're the delight in the team garage. And the stellar performance from Christian Vittoris in the Mercedes-Benz. He takes P2. And Christian Vittoris is the man that is with Verena now.
Yes, I'm here with Christian. Christian, what a great job. You really were fighting pretty hard. 2nd place for you today. Yesterday, 4th place is going really well.
Yeah, at the end it was a good weekend. I mean, could have been on the podium yesterday as well. But overall, I'm very happy with the weekend. Very good qualifying performance as well, which I really like. Great job from the team, and yeah, really happy.
All right, then thank you so much, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. He's cool as a cucumber, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah, solid weekend though. He hasn't scored any points until this weekend, so 2nd and 4th. But that was the man, untouchable, and he just flew away, didn't he, after the pit stops? I mean, Vittoris was right with him before the pit stops.
Yeah.
And in the end, he won by 7 seconds and kept the pace up right the way to the checkered flag. Robert Wickens, the race winner here at the Norisring.
Oliver there from Mercedes-Benz, just having a conversation with Robert Wickens. Oliver Kapfenstein, one of the PR team from Mercedes-Benz. Good news for him, isn't it? And very good news for Robert Wickens as well, because he'll be going up to the top step of the podium momentarily. Hear his name being announced. What about that, he says. Come on. Christian Vittoris. And this man's going to be very happy now, I predict.
I think so. He was chuffed to bits with pole position, wasn't he? He might be slightly tainted because he
oh, no,
could have had the win. No, he's all right. He's all right about that. It probably wasn't quite so smiley when he went from 1st to 5th, but given that he almost didn't finish on the podium and snatched it right at the end, it ended on a positive note. Bruno is back.
Dr. Markus Söder, then the Bavarian Minister of State, makes the trophy presentation to the race winner, Robert Wickens. That's always good to see, isn't it? The teams being included in that. Only one team representative, of course, up there. This is Britta Heidemann, the Olympic fencing champion from 2008, makes the trophy presentation to Christian Vittoris. And Dr. Clemens Kissel, the mayor of the city of Nuremberg, makes the trophy presentation to Bruno Spengler.
You think you'd win, wouldn't you?
You would.
Must feel like a win though after a long 15, 16 months without much success.
I have to say, Chris, they are magnificent trophies.
Yeah.
Right. Right way round, Christian, if you will, please. No, that's wrong.
Need a mirror.
Peter Mucker there.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, the Henkel-Trocken moment will be an enjoyable one for all three. And
Robert's down in it.
Yeah,
I'm not wasting this. I'm drinking it. Plenty to go around there, Robert. There might be some more waiting for you back in the carriage, I reckon. Well, it's good to see a smile back on the face of Bruno Spengler, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, he's had a torrid time of it. You're absolutely right. Barren time.
He drove really well yesterday as well, actually. 5th place. But it's been Mercedes weekend. But will it remain so? We move back onto the traditional race circuits. We shall see. It certainly looks like the whole thing's going to be a lot closer than last year. I don't think anybody's going to dominate this year.
So there, a super slow-mo of Robert Wickens. We're off to the sand dunes next in Zandvoort. Let's speak to Robert Wickens now, or rather, let's leave that honour to Verena.
Yes, it's my honor, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you, Robert, now. Well, congratulations. That really was a very, very tough race, and you aced it. Yesterday, I was saying you almost made it, and now how about winning the race today, and you managed it? You must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, it's exactly how I planned it. I mean, obviously, I wanted to qualify on pole, but starting third, I had a good start and was able to overtake Bruno, and he was very fair. Then from there, to settle into my race, the team did a great job in the pit stop, and luckily there wasn't any safety cars at the end to mix things up.
But really, it was such a good weekend for you. With the second place, with a victory, it can continue like this, right?
Yeah, that'd be the dream, yeah. If we can keep on doing this every weekend, we'll be laughing and keeping smiles on our faces. But unfortunately, we know this is a good track for us. Hopefully, we can keep this momentum going to Zandvoort, but you know, we definitely have to keep our feet on the ground and keep moving forward.
Thank you and congratulations. Enjoy it, and back to you guys.
And thank you, Verena. Well done indeed. He's right. Zandvoort up next for the DTM. And Robert Wickens, and really is beaming from ear to ear, that's for sure. Fantastic heli shot of this brilliant circuit that is used but once a year for the DTM weekend. And it's always a place we enjoy coming to, and the drivers enjoy it as well. It's very, very challenging.
Just as a spectator as well, as a fan, you get really involved. You're right in the thick of the action.
The lake you can see to the left-hand side, Chris and I will be in but a few moments' time in our
Cool
rowing
down a
boat.
You can row, I'm going to have a drink.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Bruno Spengler is another delighted man. He's on the podium, he's with Verena.
Yeah, Bruno definitely is smiling. I mean, you started in pole, then something happened. You were pushed all the way to P5, but you fought back to third place. So you must be happy, but you've got to explain what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled in the first few laps to hold the Mercedes behind me. They were so fast, and with the DRS, as soon as the DRS window opened, I knew it was going to be tough for me. So I tried to stay on my line and fight as hard as I could, but they were just so much quicker at that moment of the race. So Robert Wickens overtook me. Then I had a bit of dirt on my tire, then Christian Vittoris. And here, as soon as you go a little bit offline, then you lose grip on your tires, and this is what happened to me, and that's how I lost the positions. But when the DRS window opened and there was a train of Mercedes behind me, I knew that this was going to be tough. So I'm happy to be still on the podium. It's okay. Of course, a bit disappointed to not win the race because I wanted to have this win victory for the team today. But still, you know, I fought as hard as I could, and I could get the podium back for Matthias in the last couple of laps, and this was great. And thank you to the team. I had a great car this weekend, and I'm quite happy about the result. You know, and for the team, it's great. You know, for the guys, for the hard work after 2 difficult weekends, to be back on the podium is amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Well, congratulations, Bruno. And here are the highlights now of the weekend, and we'll see you in Zandvoort. Till then, bye-bye. Ja, ich weiß. Ich stehe hier. Bruno, einmal noch kurz. Okay, Bruno. Haben wir's. In welchen? Meinst du, die weiße ist besser als die schwarze?
Ja, man sieht die Füßel dann weniger.
Ah, okay.
Ist es besser jetzt?
Geht das so mit den Augen? Geht das so mit den Augen?
Dann sehe ich schon ein bisschen doof aus wieder.
Du hast hier, darf ich dir meinen Fussel wieder wegnehmen? So. Du fusselst heute. Ja, BMW meldet sich vorsichtig zurück mit einem Podium mit Bruno Spengler. Bruno, das war für dich ein toughes Rennen in Pole angefangen. Dann bist du einmal auf P5 zurückgeschoben worden, hast dich aber wieder auf P3 gekämpft und stehst jetzt hier auf dem Podium. Aber was genau ist da passiert?
Ja, es war ein hartes Rennen. Ich meine, die ersten paar Runden habe ich schon gespürt, dass die Mercedes hinter mir war nicht zu halten. Speziell, wo der DRS-Fenster auf war, dann habe ich keine Chance gehabt. Die waren einfach viel schneller. Und ja, es war eigentlich nur eine Frage von Zeit, wann die überholen würden. Deshalb